Hi guys, it's Kayla from Kayla's Corner. I forgot my microphone today, so I hope you can hear me. But today's corner of the world for us is Galveston Island, out in Galveston, Texas. And I am going to take you with me on the duck tour. Duck tours. By the way, they're hiring. So, we should be moving any second, so follow along.
The city had a number of venues out there on the pier. They had a bandstand, a dance floor. At one point they had bumper cars and an outdoor movie theater. But over the years the city couldn't make the pier pay for itself. So in 1963 it was leased to the Flagship Hotel. Does anybody remember the Flagship? Couple of y'all? Alright, the Flagship was an 8-story hotel they built out there on the pier. It was the first hotel of its kind in the United States to be built out over water like that.
That's the Pleasure Pier, if you can't hear
The
them.
Flagship stood there up until...
Okay, looks like it is raining. So this should be interesting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, we are in a downpour. Just started this tour, and it is pouring. And of course, there's no windows on this tour. Well, the driver has a windshield.
Now, the park coming up on our right here is Menard Parking Youth Center. That is an international building. Because when you're heading to that building, you're Russian. When you're in that building, you're European. And when you leave that building, you're Finnish. Well, that makes all international travel. Those of y'all who didn't laugh at that joke, I have to warn you, that is my best one. That'll be your worst review. All this video will be on Trailer Resort. You'll notice it's built up on the hill. We don't have hills here in Galveston. This is the main location of our property. And there in the highway, we're going to do coming up ahead of us on our right, the Galveston Island Convention Center. They have a lot of events here during the year. They have things like dancing, gymnastics competitions, cheerleading competitions, and business conventions. Probably the biggest convention we have here every year is the Mary Kay Cosmetics Convention. They hold that here. You can always tell when they're in town because the island's covered with pink headlights. University of Texas Medical Branch was the first medical school in the state of Texas. It was founded in 1891. They also had the first school of nursing in Texas State. And you'll hear the name Henry Rosenberg. In the 1800s, Mr. Rosenberg was Galveston's biggest benefactor. He donated a lot of things to the city, and we'll see a number of the items he donated along the way. Gardens is a multi-dimensional, recreational, and educational facility they built here. There's a lot of things to do there. It's very family friendly. And I'll tell you more about Moody Gardens when we get out on the water, because we'll be looking right at it.
Duck is going into the water.
And here we go. And we're floating. Now, before we go any further, I have to stop and engage the flux capacitor. And we're on. The body of water we come onto here is called Offense Bayou. It is salt water. It's connected to Galveston Bay. Galveston Bay is a fairly large bay that runs between the island and the mainland.
So you were saying some people live on their boats out here. This is one. Passed another one just a minute ago.
This is a part of the tour. I get kind of tired. I need some help driving this tugboat. I need some junior captains to go up here and help me drive this tugboat. Do I have any junior captains that would like to help me drive? Well, come on up here, son. Come stand right up here. Alright, grab hold of the wheel. What's your name? Eli? Captain Eli. Eli, have you ever driven a boat this big before? No? No, okay. That's alright, I haven't driven one this big either. No, actually I know Captain Eli. Captain Eli's got a lot of experience driving boats. He's driven boats all around the world. Now Captain Eli doesn't have just one girlfriend in every port. Captain Eli has two girlfriends in every port. That's why he carries two cell phones, so he don't get confused. Here on our left, you'll see where it starts off when I'm in the Galveston Bay. You'll see my summer home. I'll invite you over for a barbecue later, but I gave the staff the day off. Now, there behind my boat, that's the guest house there. Now, for a nominal fee payable in advance, you can stay there. I'll be working late today, but if you want to stay there after the tour, you can just pay me. You can go over there and knock on the door, tell them Captain Dave said you, they'll let you right in. No problem. Around and over the island. The storm surged here during the Great Storm in 1900 with 18 feet above sea level. The storm surged here during Hurricane Ike in 2008. Was 20 feet above sea level. That means the water you're on now is about 20 feet higher than it is now. It also means all these houses coming up on our right all had 2 to attempt to get this very large, very heavy duck boat back up the ramp here and onto the road. To do that, I'll need everyone's help. Would everyone please lean forward and breathe out. All right, here we go. All right, we made it. Mrs. Willis, it cost her about $300,000 to build that mansion back then. Mrs. Willis lived there until the 1900 storm, but the storm scared her so bad she just wanted to get off the island. The house was sold to W.L. Moody for $30,000.
So we're coming up to a cruise ship here.
Now we're fixing to turn onto a street called the Strand. It's named and modeled after a famous street in London. There are a number of shops, restaurants, and bars along the Strand. And one of the more popular places on the Strand will be coming up on our right will be the King's Confectionery. The King's is an old-fashioned ice cream parlor, soda fountain, and candy factory. It's been in this location since 1920. And beer daily has various goods were bought and sold, mainly cotton and cattle. They call this area the Wall Street of the South. Now all the buildings all along the Strand in front of us and behind us were all built before 1900. Pier 21, number of things to do in this area. Just ahead of us to our left is the Pier 21 Theater. They have a really good 45-minute documentary on the Great Storm there. Further to the left is the Texas Seaport Museum. Behind the Seaport Museum, you'll see the mast of the tall ship, the Alyssa. The Alyssa is an 1877 Scottish cargo ship that the Galveston Historic Foundation found, brought here. They actually located it in Greece. It was fixing to be scrapped. They brought it here and completely restored it. The Alyssa is the third oldest active sailing ship in the world. She still sails, and she is the official tall ship of Texas.
And that's the Carnival Breeze. I am so ready for a cruise. So ready.
Look at the trees coming up beside us. You'll see Mardi Gras bees hanging in some of these trees. I don't know what those trees did to deserve those bees. They must have lifted their leaves. Coming up ahead of us in the middle of the intersection is another of Henry Rosenberg's ships. You're going to see this big monument here. It's the Texas Heroes Monument. It was built in 1900. It's dedicated to the heroes of the Texas Revolution.
All right, so that was the tour. When we started out, we didn't anymore hit the road when it started to rain really hard, but luckily it stopped pretty quickly. And then we went over into the water shortly after that, but thing is, when it started to rain, I started to hide the camera, and it was recording when I didn't know it was recording. So I am going to try and edit that out. But anyway, hopefully it'll come out. I'm going to have to learn how to edit that out, because I think there was a few minutes there when we might have been even seeing blackness. I'm not really sure. Or maybe the driver was talking about something interesting, and just keep it rolling and listen to what he said. So that's the tour. Again, that's the Galveston Duck Tour. The beach is behind me, and this Pleasure Pier is behind me. So I'm actually going to go in there now. It's about noon. It's lunchtime. There's a lot of things going on in there, so I am going to take pictures. Later on, I'm going to take a drive down the Strand probably tour some of those homes and post them. However, so you know, I'm in Facebook jail again. Seriously, they need to just leave. If short of profanity and threatening someone, they really need to leave people alone. If people don't like what people are saying, they can block them. I'm always in Facebook jail. Anyway, so I won't be able to post for a while. So you'll see this 7 days. They gave me 7 days in jail this time. So I'll be posting a lot next week as far as photographs go. There won't be anything until then, so I won't be able to post. But anyway, if you like and follow me, then I'll go ahead and hit some more interesting places, I hope, along this tour. And then we'll see you later. Thanks.